Unfortunately, there are not so many tutorials in YouTube yet, but there are still some. So I would recommend to check. There are also some chord videos. I'm involved with my friend, also another Maija, Cantele player. So definitely learning. I think Cantele is really easy instrument to start playing because kind of the scale is there and then you just put your fingers somewhere and it sounds good. So it's really easy to start. You don't need to learn, know a special technique, or you don't need to know music theory, but you can actually just start to find out the melodies with even one finger. So definitely, I think just listen some Cantele music and maybe learning the chords and finding some familiar melodies. But there are definitely so many possibilities to do with the instrument. And I would say also that play the tunes you like, because I think you need to find the tunes and the playing style you are enjoying. If you want to play pop songs, then play pop songs. If you want to find out how to play some classical tunes, then start to learn those, or whatever. If you want to hit your instrument with a stick, then just do it. But I think finding the way that the music gives you the inspiration, because I think that is the spark that you can have the power of using many hours of rehearsing the instrument. It's this really, I think, the oldest singing type exists in Finland, but also the same kind of style is it's not just in Finland. It's related, of course, in all the Baltic area singing. But it's a certain type of text and a kind of certain type of melody. Karelia is an area between Finland and Russia, and we have a lot of material from there in our archives, Cantele material, but also vocal songs. And they are sometimes really simple, but really kind of, you vary the melody all the time. And there's no A part or no B part like in pop songs. So it's just this meditative, really minimalistic music, but then, you change and improvise all the time. And for example, would be Vakavanha Väinämöinen, Vakavanha Väinämöinen, Vakavanha Väinämöinen, Vakavanha Väinämöinen. So the simple melody, you just vary all the time. And there's a kind of, you can combine all the lyrics and all the melodies. And there are some rules. I don't start to tell them now that it's quite complicated language. What is the kind of, what is the English word? Kind of how the melody and text are put together. Yeah, but it's this really old singing type. You can sing with the normal voice, or then you can sing with a really loud voice. And that's really cool too. But there are different traditions from different areas, and I think the modern folk music scene in Finland has based a lot of this kind of Karelian runo singing. Runo is also a poem in Finnish. So it's just this they have been singing sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes hours and hours. It's a storytelling type. Yeah, there is a lot of kind of rules how the language is in the songs. It's Kalevala singing and Karelian singing and Runo singing has its own grammar. And it's very interesting that they have been collecting thousands of tiny lines, and it's there. It's really, really cool, quite complicated kind of grammar that goes there in the text. I don't even remember all the rules by myself, but some people are really into it, and it's really interesting that people have been singing it, without, it's from the time, no radio, no TV, 200 years, 500, 1,000, 2,000 years old singing tradition, and still they have the grammar there, so it's really interesting. There's a book called Kalevala, which is our national epos, that there one person kind of collected the language, and there are a lot of stories from kind of tradition, put it to one book. But Kalevala is definitely the book that if you are interested of Karelian, like these runo singing texts, you can read that one. But mostly people sang it, so you can just combine different melodies. You can take this line and just use it how I want. For example, the Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, it's the basic line. It's about Väinämöinen, which was a huge Cantele player character. So you can sing Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, or Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, alla liiri laila, Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, alla liiri laila, or Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, Vaka vanha Väinämöinen. So you can take the same text and you can just find the melody you like and then create your own own version. I fell in love with this Karelian singing many, many years ago, and I have found out different melodies, and I have read the texts, because sometimes it's not like the language we speak nowadays, so it's more poetic, so it's not sometimes, you don't always understand easily what it's about. I think with some folk songs, you know that they are really poetic, and you need to actually find out what is this. There are a lot of language about nature, and you say things not so straight like in pop songs, but you little bit like, this is the topic, and then you go around and round, and then you just need to actually listen, what is this song about? So definitely it helps that I have been studying folk music, and I have had good teachers, but also I have studied and sang a lot of these traditional singing styles, but also I have sang a lot of pop music and kind of other singing styles. So in my own music, I combine all the things. Also, I combine these old runo singing melodies and texts, and also I put there a lot of my own texts based on runo singing, but all the time I don't follow this grammar, but I make the language, it's more easier to the listener, maybe to catch. And maybe if you like some modern folk, like runo singing lines, maybe you get the inspiration of actually finding out what is the tradition. So I combine a lot different things. There are kind of the runo singing and Cantele tradition comes a lot with the same area. It's interesting that there are some information. There were, solo singers and solo players, but not so much info about have people been singing and playing together. I don't know so much, but it's kind of, I think you can play the same melodies with 5-string Cantele and sing the runo melodies, because they are really limited usually, the melodies. It can be just 5 notes, and if you think about 5-string Cantele, so it's the same kind of same tradition. Sometimes sang, sometimes played with Cantele. So it really goes kind of together and has a lot of similar, similar things. You can first play and sing and then realize, you can really take inspiration from both things.